Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another Basement Radio Arcade podcast. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. I don't know what is going on with. Um, yeah, I don't know what's going on here, guys. I don't know what's going on with the stream here. It's saying poor something connection. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully, you guys can. If you guys can hear me okay, just say okay in the live chat because I don't even know for the life of me what's going on here with Streamlabs. I do think YouTube's had some issues today, though. I've noticed that. What's up, D Truth? But yeah, guys, if you guys can hear me, okay, please let me know in the live chat. Say okay. All right. Chief Tommy says okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, guys, with what's it called with I don't know what's going on with OBS Streamlabs right now. It's who knows. It's the first time I've gotten but I also think it's YouTube. There were some issues with YouTube today, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching the Stadia presentation for Gamescom. Dietrich says Sony Thanos snapped Gamescom. Yes, they did. Yes, they did, sir. But I do wanna say something. The stream. I was watching the um I was watching the Gamescom stream. Hold on a sec here, guys. Give me a second. I'm trying to listen to the quality of the podcast. Yeah, it looks like it's buffering a little bit. It's a couple seconds behind, but whatever. So yeah, look, I was watching Gamescom. I'm sorry, what am I talking about? I was watching the Stadia Gamescom presentation, and YouTube was having some issues. It kept buffering. I don't know what was going on. You know what? My man Slow Mo backslaps in the house. Slow Mo. I probably need to reset my router. Xbot 448. What is going on, dude? Dude, hey, you have to. If you guys have not checked out Xbot's podcast, please check it out. The guy is just super passionate. I love his energy and his excitement when it comes to talking video games. So big shout out to Xbox. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Chief Tomei, Ice Queen Gaming, D Truth. Let's see here. Corrosion. If I missed anyone, I'm sorry. But guys, welcome to Brap. Corrosion said buffer for me too. So I'm telling you, it's a YouTube thing today, guys. I don't know what is going on. And hey, maybe it's look, guys. I thought to myself, I'm watching the Stadia presentation. I'm thinking, oh my god, how are these guys going to get the if they can't get the YouTube, if they can't get YouTube correct, if they can't get the Stadia, if they can't get the YouTube Stadia presentation streaming properly, and it just wasn't Stadia. I noticed when I was watching Inside Xbox, I was having some buffering issues too. And I have a pretty decent internet connection. My uh, uh, my um, my upstream is shit. It's about 12 megs up, which is total bullshit. Uh, my download though is about 400 something megs, about 400 megs downloads hardwired, and wireless it's about 250, 260 somewhere around there. But anyhow, so yeah, I don't know what's going on with again guys, I don't know what's going on with with YouTube. It's kind of frustrating. I think. Oh, Slomo, are you with
Yo,
us,
what's
buddy?
up?
What's up, man? Slomo,
Hey, what's going
is the
on?
stream coming in okay? Because I'm getting an air like I'm getting. Oh, you have a weak connection. This first time I've had this on YouTube streaming from OBS.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for certain. I do know, like, when I was before I jumped in, I was looking at it, and it was just like it's the actual on my computer was blurry. It was buffering. I could hear you fine. It's just the visual, even though it's like it's really just the Brat
Just the Brap logo.
logo, and then
Yeah.
that's on the side. But it just seems like, I mean, but this is YouTube, right? I'm not surprised that they can't get it going correctly right now. They're too busy trying to get the Stadia servers off the ground. That's where all the resources are going to. Stadia.
Is there some things going on in the background here? You think that maybe they're like, okay, we're like you said, diverting resources, and YouTube be damned.
I don't know for certain. I'm just
Yeah.
cracking some jokes at their expense right now. I don't know what's going on, but I do. We've seen this happen before, and I was noticing too, because I've upgraded my internet to 1 gig upload and download with Verizon, and I was noticing during the Stadia stream and during of the video awards is opening ceremony thing for Gamescom, that it was buffering. I was just like, why? I'm at home by myself. There's no one else on my network, and I've got internet and no limits. This shouldn't be an issue, but it was. So
That's odd. J Dub, are you with us now?
I am with you right now.
All right, we have the one and only. Why does it say stream finished? Oh, never mind.
It says finished.
I'm
Ne-
looking on my other screen. It's still
Nah,
up.
never mind. What's going on here? This is really weird.
This ain't that on YouTube or OBS.
I don't know what's going on here. I just lost the YouTube window.
Okay.
Here we go. All right.
Okay. So we're live.
Yeah, we're live. I don't know. I'm having issues. YouTube's having issues.
Oh
I'm
boy.
checking. My CPU is actually not running too high right now, slow mo. It's about 20%.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it's probably not your computer or anything that you're doing.
it's
I
YouTube.
think right now. Yeah, I think it's YouTube. Is
Look, the only thing I care about, as long as the audio is coming through, I don't care. I do need to. I think I need to. There's some other. Actually, there were some issues I'm having with Discord and Streamlabs right now, where it's like, no one is like usually like when you talk slow mo, the green icon comes on. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Slow mo, you there?
yeah. You couldn't hear me.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. You good?
Weird.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
'Cause I'm
Anyhow,
watching you, so you good.
we're good. Okay. So anyhow, so I was watching the thing, man, and I'm thinking like, how is Stadia gonna pull this off? I don't mean to joke, man, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work. Am I out of line here to say this? That if they can't get YouTube right, how are they gonna get Stadia working?
I have a question.
Well,
Why do they have a stream?
yeah. Well,
I
bro,
mean,
I'll
yeah,
tell you this, man. Right? How often does I mean within barring the last few months, right? How often has YouTube actually went down? Is kind of rare. Now, mind you, there's more people that's watching YouTube videos and uploading content and doing all kind of other stuff in YouTube than there will be in Google Stadia.
true.
So
It's true.
I just don't know just yet. I can't knock it just yet. But again, maybe there's not 100,000 people. Well, 200,000, maybe a million people actually streaming live video games in 4K. So we just don't know.
Yeah,
So
that's a good
Right.
point, man. That's a good point.
yeah.
But
So
I didn't. There wasn't anything really. I think of the Stadia stream that really caught my eye. I thought it's cool they got Samurai Showdown. Um, but I can't think of
yeah,
anything else. I was like, oh wow, that's cool.
yeah. They
You
showed
know,
that guilt. I think they showed the guilt game. Again, I was at work, so I kind of missed some stuff. I was trying to watch as much as possible. Um, you know,
Thought it was kind of pointless.
you thought it was
I
pointless.
mean, yeah, I mean, like you showed up the show games that you have that everyone else also has. Like, okay,
I
I'm
thought I saw
at
some
this point.
exclusives, which are small titles, but I mean,
Look, wait, which ones?
the guilt game and it's like one or two other small ones.
Yeah, I think there were some
told y'all
smaller
they
games
wasn't
that
ready
I'm
yet.
not
It's some
familiar with. That
some
may be.
smaller games.
Guild
Again,
game is an exclusive to
I'm
Stadia.
I'm trying. Guilt is, yeah. Yeah, they had several exclusive games you only play on Stadia. But here's the thing, right? And I'm gonna try to keep an objective mind on this. When PlayStation Now first came out, right? It didn't light the world on fire. It's been 5 years later, and it still hadn't lit the world on fire. So people just have a standard connotation that's against streaming under any circumstances already. And then Google, right? They comes out. They're the big guys. They're going to be competing against not only PS Now. They're going to be competing against the X Cloud stuff. So people are already against it because they prefer X Cloud, or you prefer, you always have your preferred thing. So I want to see this stuff out in the open. But here's the thing. I remember when they tried this whole Project Stream thing, when they tried with when Google tried with the Assassin's Creed, they sent out, the invites. I got in, I played it. It worked flawlessly. No problem for me. And then everyone was hyping it up. Oh, this is great. This is gonna be. And then soon as Microsoft announces xCloud and Sony started talking about what they're gonna do with how they're gonna beef up the PS Now and stuff like that, then everyone retreats back into their neutral corners and just kind of go rah rah for their preferred thing without giving Google Stadia a chance. Now it's Google's job to sell us on this stuff, and so far it's been lukewarm
Slow mo
and
sold.
mediocre at best.
Slow mo's day one, right? Slow mo.
Hey,
No, look,
I'll
They
try it.
haven't sold
I'm
nothing
I,
yet,
I'm gonna
man.
tell you straight up. Like I was in the Google beta too. I tried Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Tried it for a couple of months. I couldn't play it. Like for me, it wasn't working for me. I would start out playing, and then after about 2 or 3 minutes, the frame rate would drop so low, it would turn to a slideshow.
Wow, what kind of
And
connection you got, man?
I,
Like
I was
you're the only
100.
person that I know that literally have had issues with that service that tried
Was
it.
at the time I was 100 meg up and down at the time.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
tried it.
Hey, real quick, guys. I just
Now
want to welcome B Money. What's up, B?
B
Yeah, what's
Money.
going on?
You been-
He been seeing the static in the Twitter streets.
yeah, yeah,
now,
Yo, can
now
y'all
at the
hear me?
yeah.
time
We can hear you, man.
Yeah, we hear you.
Are
Oh,
you on
okay.
your phone? Sounds like you're on your phone.
Yeah, man. I was on my way home, but I
All
figured
right.
I should jump in here before
No,
y'all
no
hop
doubt,
off.
man. B, you sound better than the rest of us, man. You're on the 5G, man.
now
Yeah,
at the
what's going
time
on,
with
man?
it what I was doing, so I noticed I was able to isolate it. Start doing some troubleshooting and some
Yeah,
investigating on my own. I went to my mom's house. My mom has a different ISP. I had no problems at my mom's house. At
yeah.
my house, even though I have a better internet speed and better, and she has Comcast. Comcast doesn't have fiber optic,
You
and
having packet
Verizon
loss, my
does.
friend.
Like I actually went to the little the forum they had set up for help
Mm.
and all that stuff, and I was like talking with people, and what it come down to is that basically Verizon was throttling those particular network ports that were being used
Hmm.
for Google Stream or Project Stream, whatever it was called then. And so that's something that I'm sure Google at this point has discussed and said, we need to make sure that this isn't an issue
Hmm.
that going forward. Like that's why you have a beta so that you can knock that stuff out. My issue with Stadia isn't perform well. My issue is more of a content side thing. And outside of this game, and I just looked up, you're correct, Guilt by Tequila Works is an exclusive to Stadia. That's the first exclusive I've seen for this platform. And
What does Tequila
I
Work?
am a
Tequila Works made some
exclusives
other good
guy.
games.
They may rhyme.
Rhyme,
What I'm
yes.
saying is I am an exclusives guy. I feel like you need to have exclusives in order to. And if you don't have many of those, and everything that you do have and that you market is games that people can get everywhere else, there's that question. So
Yeah,
why should I go to you?
yeah,
My concern with it, also the concern of the way Google is, period, where the way they expected it to initially, they lose interest very quickly. And so that's also another thing. Just knowing their history, I'm like, if I ever do decide to jump in, it's going to be after this has been out for a while, and I know that you're definitely going to support this.
Yeah.
So,
Well, real quick, guys. I don't want to spend too much time talking about Stadia. I want to get to the big news items of the day right away.
Yeah, but
Before we get to the real megaton of today, and what I think is probably going to overshadow any announcement, Gamescom 2019. I could be wrong. I do want to talk about one thing. What the fuck is Death Stranding? I have no idea what this game is. I saw the video. Kojima went up there. All I saw was Norman Reedus taking a leak on a mushroom or something, the mushroom growing, and then the baby's upset, the baby's crying. Jeff Keighley's in the game. Uh,
mhm.
I what you know what, Slow-Mo? The whole time I'm
going to
watching
be game of the year.
Slow-Mo, the whole
Yes,
time
it
I'm
is.
It
Keighley
will. It
is
will.
in the
no,
game.
no,
It will.
no,
Jeff Keighley is going to make that game of the year. I'm
no,
telling you.
no. Let me just tell you something. Hey, big shout out. I got to pay the bills real quick. Big shout out to Sean Rashid with the $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, Enrique, how do you feel about that contract you signed? I feel pretty good, man. I feel good, Kratos. But I got to say something.
Extensions will be handed out before the end of the show.
Now we got to get Slow-Mo and B-Buddy inside the contract.
Hey, I already got B money, man. Slow mo, he know where it's at, man.
Look,
Yeah.
man, look, I need to see some numbers.
Hey, he gonna wait. He gonna wait till the last E3,
I need to see some numbers.
the final E3.
Oh.
It took 7 years.
Yeah, that's funny. But I mean, seriously, guys, I don't like Slow-Mo. You guys are saying this is game of the year. Slow-Mo, I'm watching this video. I'm like, in my mind, I hear Slow-Mo saying, never go full on Kojima. And he went full on Kojima. What is it? Yo,
Dude.
what is this game? I have no idea. When Norman Reedus got up and started pissing, the fans cheered. Did you hear people cheering in the background? People
Yeah.
were cheering. I'm like, yo, how are
Yeah.
people cheering a man taking a leak? And I was just like blown away. And then the ladder just looks terrible, I think. And that's just a minor, like, thing that I'm nitpicking. But, I just, the baby and mother, we meet mother, the character mother or mom or whatever her name is. And her baby didn't
Mother.
make it to our world and stuck in the other world. And it's like liquid.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just like, you either got to be high. He is high. This man.
Look, we know he's eccentric, right? We know Kojima and his mind and how he thinks about games. I mean, if you've played any of the past Metal Gears, you know some of that stuff can get pretty crazy. I'm
sorry, Jay. Don't mean to interrupt. I
No, go
forgot to read Ashon's super chat. He said, "Has the panel?" Hold on a sec here. Completely forgot. He says, "Has every panel member signed a contract?" No, not every panel member signed a contract
we're
yet.
99% there. It'll be done.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, but Kojima, he's special, man. He thinks outside the box. And even if you don't know what this game is about, right? You're not sold on it yet. We'll see eventually. I remember the last Metal Gear. When you first started out, crawling on the floor and the fire and stuff like that, and all the crazy stuff that was going on with it. I didn't know what the heck was going on then. And it's just one of those things, man. I think, either you're gonna like it or not. A lot of us are kind of caught in we're so used to these shooters, right? Every game is a shooter, or every game is something else. It's a different game. It's something outside the box, and I'll apply that. If the game might be great, it might be trash. We won't know till we play it, but it is something different. And in a world of Fortnites and PUBGs and Gears and all kind of other shooters, it's a breath of fresh air to see something different. And that's just kind of my take on it,
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair take, man. You're right. It certainly doesn't fit in that cookie cutter mold of games that we see. B, what are your thoughts, man? Did you I don't know if B, did you have the chance to watch the gameplay footage?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think, man? The peeing, the baby. I mean, what? Oh my god.
I mean, I didn't really understand the whole peeing thing, but that's
Wait,
just something that most
Yeah.
people want to see in games. You know
he
what I mean?
peed on the grass.
Yeah,
But
just
it
the
grew a
ability
mushroom.
Yeah, it
to do
produced a
normal
mushroom.
stuff. So you know what I mean, it is what it is. But I thought the addition of the showing the mama character and then just kind of showing that there's two different worlds, and I think there's a lot of mystery to the game, and I think that's what got a lot of people intrigued about it. And like J Dub said, man, it's just different. I mean, you look at a lot of games that have come out over just a generation. A lot of them we just overlook because they look so similar to other games that have done the genre better or whatever the case may be. So what I mean, when you get something different, what I mean, you get more eyes on it, and it's proven with the amount of views that game has got on YouTube. What I mean, a lot of people are really interested in it. So I'm still excited about it. I've been championing the game since they announced it, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
So you is this game of the year, man? Is it a lock?
It's gonna be in the running
I'm
for
gonna,
sure.
I'm
I'm
gonna,
trying to think of what other game is gonna be
yeah.
right there with it. I mean, I think Gears has a potential. Especially if you just look at the landscape for the rest of the year. I think we had, Resident Evil 2 would probably be in there somewhere. Um,
Astral Chain, possibly.
Astro Chain, what I mean, possibly Fire Emblem. So, I mean, when you start looking down
Fire
the
Emblem
list,
definitely deserves a nod.
How about
yeah,
Gears 5?
yeah, I think Gears would be in there. I think Gears would be in there. But
Slow mo,
when you
come on,
when you
man.
start to look at the remainder of the year, I mean, what game really gets you excited besides maybe Star Wars? And you got to hope that they
Uh,
deliver on that.
that's
So,
true.
you know what I mean? It could get Game of Year nods, especially if it reviews well. We know most Kojima games review in the 90s. So if it hits that 90 mark and above, what I mean, I think it might deserve it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Slow mo. What do you think, man? I think I already know what you think, but what are your thoughts, bro?
Dude, so wrong. This is what I've been saying. This is what I have been saying. He literally was just like, you know what? They still love me. What else can I do? I gave them go gadget ladder and they still loved it. You know what? We're gonna have Norman P. Mushrooms. Boom. Yeah, P.
People
P
fucking
on me. Like people are just like P
people
on me
clapped.
in the crowd and clapping. I'm just like at
But you
that
know what?
point I was like,
That comes with having decades long recognition and hard work with previous things. That doesn't come overnight.
that's true. But it just at this point, it's just like, you know what? Yeah. It's gonna be at least nominated for game of the year.
Yeah.
It's gonna come out and it's gonna be kind of like how people are with the Kingdom Hearts storyline where you can't explain it at all. Like, you ask someone like, what's Kingdom Hearts about? And then they go like, wait, hold on a second. And then they go like Google for like 5 minutes and they come give you
Yeah.
an answer. That's going to be Death Stranding. You be like, yo, what's happening? I don't know, man, but
Yo, I want to go live.
genius is genius. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Hey, I want to go live chat real quick. Don't call me Danny says you never shake the baby. It's. I think he actually said. I think Kojima said you don't shake the baby. Baby gets upset.
Yeah, you'll make him upset. Yeah.
You're not supposed to shake babies.
Well, in real life, you're not supposed to shake babies anyway.
I mean,
But
really.
but yo, is this a baby sim? Like, I'm sorry, like I don't get it. The more I see this game, you know what's crazy? Here's the thing: the more I see this game, the more I'm like, what the fuck is this game? But then the more I think about, it, I'm like, there's some brilliance behind this because it's so outside the box. I think what you
Yeah.
were saying, J Dub, earlier. It's
It's an
so outside
it's
the box that it's
yeah,
almost
it's
genius in a way.
listen, like I say, man, in a world of Fortnites and PUBGs and every other shooter, like I'm glad there's something different, right? Like even a game like Concrete Genie. I can't wait to play that game
Yes.
because it's something different. It's not, every other game, right? We got Gears coming up, right? We got Gears coming up. We got Borderlands 3. We got the same stuff. And just here it is. It launches in November. We still don't know what the storyline, what the plot is. They show some of the combat. They show some of the stuff that you do. That you can climb, and now you got to take care of the babies. You got to do different things, and you know You can have half the world is dead, half is alive, and you have to kind of play the two roles or whatever. It's just a lot going to that. And if we look at Kojima's timeline, he's all about the movies. He watches these off the wall crazy movies and get ideas, and he puts a project into play, and he comes up with stuff like Metal Gear and Dead Stranding and Silent Hills and PT and stuff like that. You know what I'm
Didn't the
saying? And
Silent Hill have like one of the Silent Hills have like a dog that talked to you or something? Or
bro, it had the freaking baby.
yes,
It had the baby.
fuck that game. I won't play that now. When I was
But
younger,
you see what I'm saying? You see
yeah,
how like the mad scientist type role that he plays when it comes to games, and whether you don't, whether you hate him or you love him, he's different. And I think that's that's kind of what the industry kind of need right now. We need something outside the box besides a bunch of shooters and a bunch of stuff that just does the same stuff. Even with Nintendo, right? It's kind of the same stuff. It's just same
yeah.
IPs. It just changes, you just change the name of the title, but it's still essentially the same games.
Yeah, I want to go to live chat. By the way, thanks everyone in the live chat for hanging out with us this evening. We broadcast a little bit earlier than we usually do. Had some time to do that, and just want to again thank you guys for coming by. Please retweet the link on Twitter if you don't mind. If you haven't subscribed, hit that sub button as well. Let's try to get to 100 viewers. We're at 70 right now, so. It's funny, like Z Black Rider in the live chat says that Kojima's trolling the industry, and maybe he is. But yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting game, and I think you guys are right. I think it's going to be a different game of the year. As crazy as that sounds, it might be, but
Yeah.
It would not surprise me at all if like the collector's edition comes with like a dime bag of crystal meth.
oh my God,
And not
Slow-mo.
just any crystal meth, like the crystal meth from like what's that show that everyone loves? What's the name of the show with the
Talking about Breaking
guy?
Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad,
Oh
like the
my
blue
God.
stuff. Imagine playing this game
So are you saying
that high.
are you saying they're gonna have like a loot box collector's edition with crystal meth? we
You imagine playing this game that high.
we got the cocaine edition of Death
It would all
Stranding.
make sense. You'd be like, yeah, oh my, the baby, yeah, yeah, I can see it happening. I mean, it's not going to, but
Did you?
yeah, that'd be great.
Hey, did you guys see Jeff Keighley? He's like, yes. He's like, yes. Kojima has just texted me that he's arrived to the building. I'm like,
Yeah, I saw that
oh
part too.
boy.
That
I
was
said,
funny.
oh boy. I said, only
Listen.
Oh,
He
look,
has a fan base like no other, man. He is the industry's rock star.
who? Kojima or Jeff Keighley?
Yeah, Kojima.
Yeah, yeah,
Kojima. I mean, even more so, than other people that we know. But he is the guy, man. A lot of people love him.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
he
yo,
is.
was it just me? And I said this before, and B said he didn't hear it. You got in the very, very beginning when they showed Gears 5. Was it just me, or did Jeff announce when he
Yes,
introduced
he
Rob
did.
Ferguson?
The collective.
Did he call them the collective?
He did call the
instead of
collective.
the coalition.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, I got Rod Ferguson from the collective or something." To the coalition. Yeah, he told. Who he's thinking about? Dude, he was thinking about Kojima.
Because I was playing Fire Emblem, and I was like, I kind of looked up, like, who is the collective? And then Rob Ferguson comes out. Rob
Collective
Ferguson didn't say a
coalition.
word, but I know in his mind he was like,
Potato.
Rob should have been like, "Yo, dude, I'm gonna curb stomp you if you don't get it right." That's funny
that
though.
was great. That was
Yeah.
great, man.
Hey, real guy, I do want to transition. That's it. It's a nice transition, slow mo. I do want to talk about Gears of War 5 because Microsoft was not originally going to show, for whatever reason, they were not going to show any campaign footage of Gears 5 up until I think the week of launch, and they think they heard the rally cry, if you will, of many of us who said, Microsoft, why aren't you showing campaign footage? And look, guys, I got to say, I actually like this. I thought the campaign footage looked pretty good. It got me excited. There's something interesting going on with Kate. And I kind of I think, where they're taking her story or the direction she's going. It also looked like they are, they've added some different ways to traverse around some of the maps, which is kind of cool. I think with that hang glider thing that they were on. I don't know if you guys saw that. I think visually the game looks great, but then it just and look, it got me excited. I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted to see. My only complaint was that they didn't show actually gameplay footage, live gameplay footage, or in-game gameplay footage of the campaign. But I'll take this for right now. But I thought it looked good. It got me excited. It got me more excited for Gears 5 than any of that multiplayer stuff that they showed, or where they had the WWE superstars locked under the stage at E3. So, um, but I will say it kind of begs the question, like why would they wait? Like why not show this at E3? But I guess that's Microsoft. But again, the game, I thought the campaign looked awesome. I'm excited to see what happens. B, I want to go to you, man. What are your thoughts on the footage they showed of Gears 5?
First of all, that footage should have been at E3.
Yes.
Like there was nothing in that footage that gave away anything in the campaign that we didn't already know. So for them to say like, oh, they're hiding a campaign because they want to keep all the secrets, they don't want to reveal anything too early. Like that trailer that they showed, there's nothing in that campaign that we didn't already know. So that should have been at E3. But as far as the footage is concerned, I think it looked great. Graphically, the game looks really good. I think they did a pretty smart job about showing some of the old Gears members in the game as well. Barrett is still there, Cole is still there. You know what I mean? Marcus is there. I even believe Marcus's dad was in the trailer, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Um, but the game was good. I think they're going to take Kate's story in a place that everyone thought they would. And Kate should have been the lead role in Gears 4 because JD was just not interested at all, and Kate's storyline was way more interesting. So I'm glad they put her in the forefront, and I think going forward, as this story kind of develops, they'll have a better set piece with Kate being the center of attention.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, B, I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to go live chat real quick. Why did D Truth just say meth stranding? Jesus.
It's hilarious.
See what you started, Slow Mo?
Hope trends.
Oh my God. All right. Go ahead, B. I'm sorry, man.
No, I thought they did a good job of what they showed, and I think it only is going to get people excited going forward. I think they should have showed some gameplay though, even if it was just a 2 minute, little teaser thing, going into the release because the game releases in 2.5 weeks, I believe. So just give us a little something extra. But other than that, I can't really complain about what they showed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I definitely agree. Let's go to our guest, J-Dub. Kratos, what were your thoughts, man?
I thought it was okay. Again, like B Money said, man, you could have showed this at E3. It did nothing spectacular. It didn't sell anybody or dissuade anybody from it. Again, I think what Kate, according to my knowledge, looked like she's a hybrid, so she's gonna have to choose which side she won and something like that. I don't know. I'm getting the game. We'll see. I got the theme console coming on the 6th or the 5th or whenever it drops. So we'll see, man. I'll get to play it. I just don't think this game, right, is not going to be the God of War type thing. Maybe the next one in next generation, maybe they'll reboot the franchise. That'll give us something fresh and new that we haven't seen. I think this just is a continuation of the story. I think it's going to be close to what we played with Gears 4, which was a great game, by the way. But again, if you're walking in expecting that this is going to be the savior of this generation, you're going to be disappointed. It's not. It's Gears. You can bet on Gears all day, every day. It's going to give you a solid 80, 85 any day of the week. And, we'll just kind of leave it at that. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah. I'll go to live chat again. Mog Wee, by the way, says if God of War did the same trailer, it would have been 3 cutscenes and Kratos rolling a boat. It's actually pretty funny. Oh my, that's funny as shit. Slow mo, man. What were your thoughts, man?
I was just picturing that.
Yeah. Boy.
Man, it looked good. It looked good. It's I just past weekend went through Gears 4 again just to kind of and kind of have it fresh in my mind before Gears 5 comes out. And
Oh, Slimo, we
yeah,
should have done some co-op, man.
and yeah. I mean, that's fine, but I think going through it again and then doing the ending, it just kind of like, eh, like
Yeah.
it kind of brings back my feelings of disappointment with the last one. This one, I mean, that trailer looked good, and yeah, I agree with everyone. They should have just showed that at E3. There's no reason not to show it. I know a little bit more about the campaign, but I don't know. It's like you haven't spoiled anything.
No, they haven't.
Like there's nothing here that makes me say, "Oh, now, I'm throwing up my arms." Like, why just show me that? So it was fine. But as far as my hype for Gears 5, it's not any higher or lower than it was yesterday.
Mm. Yeah, it's higher for me, man. For me it's higher. I just maybe because I was so eager to see it, I guess. But
One thing I did want to say though is
mhm.
that inside Xbox they showed the horde mode, and they showed how it's a little bit different, where each character
Yeah.
has a special skill that
Hmm.
you can use in horde, and I thought that was like a good innovation to put in there. I think that's something that I think will really it makes horde mode more interesting to me, because it's something that I did at Gears 2, and then I just didn't care to do it anymore after that. But
Yeah.
now the uses of it, where your team composition can be really important to surviving further
Survive.
and
Yeah.
further. So yeah, I thought that was a great idea. But yeah, I mean, other than that,
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be back into. In terms of multiplayer, I definitely will be rocking with horde mode. Although I might that new that new multiplayer mode. I forget what you like. Plant the bombs. You gotta escape. Whatever. That looks
escape
interesting.
mode.
Escape mode. Yeah, but horde is probably where I'll spend most of my time multiplayer wise in that game. So, um, but yes, it's not the collective. It's the coalition. I thought that was funny too. Um, but yeah, glad that they finally showed it though. That's good. It's better than having to wait till the week before or the week of release. So um, I do want to move to some other big news. Actually, the Megaton announcement today, and I don't think anyone's surprised by this, but I got to say, Kotaku, Jason Schreier, broke this news. At least he was the first journalist to talk about it or to break this live from what I saw on the internet. Um, but basically, Sony's come out and bought Insomniac. I mean, and I look. This is
Megaton.
yeah, this is big, guys. And look. Does it make sense? Yes. I mean, they've been in bed together for a long time. They've been having sexy time together, and Sony finally decided to put the ring and make it official. Um, oh,
So
you know what's funny? Lo and behold, I have an excellent connect. Oh no, I don't. YouTube. I had an excellent connection for like a second and it went back. That's YouTube. Um, Anyhow, so yeah, they Sony put a ring on it, and I'm not surprised by this. They've had a long, what, like 20-year relationship, maybe longer.
Yeah. They've been making games for over 20 years, according
Yeah,
to Sean Layden, and he said, look, I mean, it's that time to close the deal. What I thought, you got Google coming in, you got a bunch of players coming in the future, and Sony wants to solidify their core, their worldwide studios. They want to solidify those, and they still believe in the whole, hey, this whole company is depending on PlayStation. We need to solidify and make sure we have the proper teams to take us forward, and we don't have time for these guys to you know start moving with other people and stuff like that. I mean, Insomniac has been independent. They made Sunset Overdrive. Not sure how the sales did on that, but they
they
said that
didn't do
they were
well.
great.
they were ready for a sequel. They needed a publisher, and and Microsoft kind of turned their heads, I guess, on it. So Sony went in and swooped them up, and a part of that, they get about 8 IPs, eight the catalog from the IPs, which includes Sunset Overdrive. So this is a good pickup. This a lot of people thought that hey, Insomniac pretty much was rocking with Sony anyway because of the 20-year relationship, but this solidifies. This is huge news. Um, that means potential Sunset Overdrive 2, if financed by Sony, could come. Even the IP, maybe they'll do a remaster for the PS5 or the
Mhm.
PS4. That could happen. It this there's a lot of positives about that, but man, it shows you a huge difference in mindsets of the companies. You have Microsoft, they've gobbled up what 15 smaller indie and double A studios, and they're going to plan on growing those over time. But then Sony wants to go for the gusto with the big stuff like the Insomniac and a couple others. And rumor has it that Remedy would fit into that fold as well. So that
Mm.
that may be another where we're going to wait for the right time to announce that. And if you guys, one thing you know about Sony, they are moment capitalizers. Just like what they did with right before E3. They knew they were going to be at E3, but what did they do? Right beforehand, they dropped the release date and trailer of Death Stranding. They knew that would get everybody talking. And then here it is, Gamescom. They knew that this here would be the talk of they love grabbing that attention from anybody.
I mean, this megaton is all over the internet. I mean, the Hollywood Reporter's reporting it, Newsweek's reporting this. I mean, it's not just gaming sites. I mean, this is all over the news media right now. As I'm actually looking at it, and it's just, you're right, man. I mean, they came in, and it's funny. Like people are like, oh shit, Sony's not going to be at E3. People debated whether or not that was a good move or a bad move. Turned out that they were fine. They didn't miss a beat. Um, they,
Almost excellent move because think about it. They didn't really spend any money.
yeah,
All they had to do was tweet some things out and show a couple of trailers on their own terms. And leading up to that, they had those little smaller PlayStation shows or whatever that shows you a bunch of stuff to come. Um, I mean, and think about it. The way E3 went down, Microsoft, from what I hear, from the Twitterverse, they lost E3 with Sony not even showing up. So it's would it really have helped them to spend millions of dollars to be there and just show the same stuff over and over or show very little new stuff? So I think that's
yeah.
a win-win. I think right now, man, they're firing on all cylinders and they're making according to David Jaffe, they're making great executive managerial decisions, and that is more than any developer that you can ever purchase.
It's funny. I listened to you guys yesterday when you guys had David Jaffe on the best damn podcast, and you guys had Jaffe come on. We actually had him on yesterday as well. If you guys haven't seen the podcast we had yesterday, it was a little spicy in the beginning, but it but it did settle down. We had David Jaffe on. Actually, it was funny because I want to do a quick brap rant on the joke that upset a lot of people in the gaming community. I should say a lot, some people. I'm seeing like a 50-50 thing, at least in my timeline. Um, but it upset some people, the joke that he made about Xbox and Owen. And so we were going to talk about it. Boomstick joined, the Ash and Luca joined, and then Jaffe showed up in the live chat and he decided to join us and talk about it. So if you haven't watched that episode, definitely check it out. Definitely insightful to say the least. But I did hear him talk about that though on the Best Day podcast last night, where
Yeah,
he was talking about the management at Sony, and he even talked about the management at Microsoft with the
yeah,
Xbox division. How he's like, look, there's a problem there based on some of the things we've seen with studio closures, and then games being canceled and the messaging being off. Um, but this is big for them. I mean, this is their 14th studio to join them now, and they're joining Guerrilla Games, they're joining Media Molecule, they're joining Naughty Dog, they're joining Sony Santa Monica, they're joining Sony Bend, they're joining, I don't know who else they have, but those are like the more um, uh,
bigger
bigger,
known. Yeah,
yeah, studios that Sony has under their belt. And Sean's like, look, those studios they are going to focus on delivering big games to our core audience, and he said that that's going
Yeah.
to happen. Not a oh well, if a
Yeah.
game, maybe we'll be okay if our first party studio continues to make multiplats. No, there's no mincing of words here.
Yeah.
We know he knows he's saying. This is what we're gonna do, and they're gonna do it. Um,
Listen, that messaging that Sony is putting out, that Sean Layden's putting out, and
yes,
Yoshida and those guys, that messaging is rock solid. They're all on the same page, and they are stressing it. We care about our core. We care about our hardcore. We're going to continue giving you what you want. We're going to continue giving you the story narrative driven games that we excel at. That's what we're going to keep giving you. And so that message is like, that messaging is not for the PlayStation guys. That messaging that they constantly drill out there is for the competition. It's for the people who are disgruntled. No matter where you are, if you're disgruntled, that's the stuff you want to hear from Phil Spencer and Satya Nadella and stuff like that. That's the stuff you want to hear, right? Because they're all over the place.
yeah.
You have Phil Spencer, you'll have Matt Booty, and Satya Nadella have one interview a piece on the same day, and you come out with 3 different messaging, and then everyone's there to kind of clean up the pieces and ask, well, what did he mean about this? Or, well, no, they really said this and this. It's conflicting message, and you don't hear that. Well, we really care about our hardcore, our console, this and that. You don't hear that. That's what you want to hear, but that is not coming out, and I think that shows the huge disparity in the messaging and where they are with this generation. It sums up this generation perfectly.
I mean, look, I mean, you got to believe that Sunset Overdrive 2 might be coming to the PlayStation 5. And I've said this before. Don't be surprised to see Alan Wake 2 be revealed at a Sony press conference at E3. And people are like, that's never going to happen. I'm like, hey, Sony has a knack for doing those kinds of things, to delivering games, regardless if those games have sold well retail.
Yep.
They'll still make them because they know that, you know what, it's for the
Knack,
fans.
look at Knack.
Oh, Knack is trash, but he
It,
got a
it
sequel.
it would not shock me that if they came out with a Knack 3 and no one else would be shocked.
Yeah.
I don't know about that because didn't Sean Layden say they were going to focus more on like bigger AAA games and not so much developing like the smaller ones? So when I read that quote, I thought, yeah, this is probably not going to be in a Knack game.
Well, what he meant by that, right? What I took from that was not that they're not going to make the Knacks in the other games, right? Because he just mentioned in this one article that I was reading about Ratchet and Clank, and Ratchet and Clank didn't set the world on fire. I mean, so maybe a couple of million copies. But they're looking for the sequel to that. Insomniac is going to make a sequel to that, so that would fit in that Knack realm, of hidden here, hidden miss. I mean, not every game that they make is going to sell 10 plus million copies, but they have a hell of a lot of games that do sell 10 plus million copies. So while they're going to focus on those 10 million plus copies, they still have to make the other stuff, because we're going to get maybe one or two of those 10 million copy sellers a year. Even Days Gone, we're going to get a sequel to Days Gone, and I'm sure that game, they said it sold really well, obviously enough to make a sequel. So it's, you got to have that. Plus the VR stuff. There's just a lot of different avenues where they can take this. But the mere fact that they're going to focus on the big AAA games, the big AAA stuff, that's system sellers. That put the systems in the homes. Everything else is just icing on the cake.
Well, let me
Go ahead,
rephrase it. Knack 3.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you 1,000%, brother. Leave Knack at home.
On Knack 3 and make like a new IP that like I may actually want to play, but not that like I don't want to see it.
Hey, by the way, real quick, I didn't know
Probably,
this, but
they're probably still going to have smaller games.
By the way, Enrique, hey,
Yep.
shout out to Hazard Man in the chat. Yes, we had David Jaffe on. He came on the show, and yes, he came in and he said what he had to say about what he said, about Owen and stuff like that. But he rocked out with the show, and man, he was swinging. He punched me in the eye. He punched me in the jaw. He chop kick, post up, and so so he has his own opinion about things, right? He has his own opinion, and his due respect.
Well, he
He
thinks
told
he thinks
he
Xbox.
told me, he basically told me the games that I thought were big games were not big games, or not that top echelon where I would think Sony would place the games. He said, look, Uncharted, that's their top stable. The Last of Us, they're top stable. Even the Spider-Man and God of War, they're top stable. But games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Gran Turismo, a couple other games, they're not their top tier. Where I thought that was their top tier. He wouldn't classify them as that because for whatever reason, but he gave his definition of it, and it was very informative on what and you got to, again, when you take your fanboy hat on, because think about it, we're the hardcore, we're going to buy in and everything, we want the big over the top shooters and in games, but those are not the majority that sell. And so with somebody like that saying that, it just makes perfect sense.
Yeah, he's got a great perspective from. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously he was, he's been in the
yeah,
industry for 25 years, worked for Sony for 15 years, so he's got a lot of insight there. He's also someone who feels that Microsoft could actually steal. He said it on this show many times. Thinks
yeah.
that Microsoft could steal Sony's lunch money next console gen with
Oh
with
yeah,
with Game
game with
Pass.
game.
Yeah.
It, yeah, no doubt. I've never been against Game Pass, but I did make a video saying if we want the Microsoft of old, right? If we want Microsoft and Sony to compete how they have in the past, banger for banger, game for game, those days are over. That's never going to happen.
Hmm.
Microsoft does not want to compete on that realm, obviously, based on the studios they're buying, based on them selling you their games day and date for $1 or $9 with Game Pass. They don't want to do that. They want to find their own realm, and Game Pass
Yeah.
is that realm.
Hey guys, I
Game
want to
Pass is that service.
Guys, real quick, I want to go to live chat. The live chat is on fire. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat. If you guys can like and retweet the link to the podcast, I would appreciate it. We're at 85 viewers, trying to get to 100. Definitely appreciate it, guys. I do want to, because we're talking about messaging here, Kratos. I do want to talk about
Yes.
something that Layden said. I think it's really interesting because it, to me at
Hey,
least,
Enrique,
yeah. Go ahead, man.
real quick before we segue to that,
Yeah.
look at the David Jaffe tweet I just put in the DM.
All right, hold on a second here, man. Give me a sec here. I'm gonna have to look at it in a sec, man. I can't pull it up right now for some reason.
Okay, but
Yeah, I'll get back to it. I just want to read a quote real quick, but I'll get to it real quick. I just can't open it for some reason. Regarding messaging, one thing that I think is kind of, if you compare and contrast the messaging from, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo to an extent, what Layden says, hey, we must support the PlayStation platform. That is non-negotiable. That said, you will see in the future some titles coming out of my collection of studios which may need to lean into a wider install base. Yeah,
Yes.
I think that
Yeah.
the emphasis on the platform. We're
Yeah.
supporting the PlayStation. That's non-negotiable.
Yep. Look what they did. They got games
Yeah,
going to PC. Look what just happened with the what's the studio? The Aquatic Dreams.
yeah, and he's right.
Those games are going to the PC, and you got
Yeah.
to think about it. Sony did create this. What do you call it? This like independent game studio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
These games,
Just
right?
making
So they
games for
created a
Switch.
studio to make games that were going to be outside of their traditional ones. And there's those studios, their only job was to create multiplayer games, multi-platform games. So yes, you could see some of those games on Xbox, the Switch, the PC, and stuff like that. They carved out a whole nother section of studios that they want to make games. They're in it to make games. That they are game developers and creators. That's what they do.
Yo, slow mo. That tweet, man. Oh my
All
goodness.
right.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, I gotta
funny.
see that.
I'm not gonna reply because some people might get upset.
Nah.
But
Hey,
go ahead, man.
Huh?
everyone, because and I was just thinking about comments that Jaffe has said about Game Pass in general and how he
Mhm.
feels it's like a good model, and I don't quite agree that it's going to take over next gen. I do think it will do well for Microsoft financially,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and it's with the feedback that third party developers have been giving, saying that, oh, like, we put our game in Game Pass, we see sales are doing well above what we projected them to do. That kind of good press and not even having to come from you is just going to kind of continue to fuel things, and you're going to start seeing more and more people there. That's just my opinion. But
Yeah.
in regards to some people feeling like, and also Sony saying they're going to invest in PS Now and make it better, do you guys think that they should loosening some of their grip on the exclusives, the like more current exclusives not being in PS Now? And I'm not saying go day and date, but maybe go like 6 months after the game launches.
Well,
Then
David
it's
Jaffe,
on PS
he
Now.
actually spoke on that. That was one of his things. He was a big advocate for Game Pass, and he said what Sony needs to do with PlayStation Now, they need to bundle it with PS Plus. And he said that maybe they can do it and say, hey, look, our games will not be day and date because we value our games, but they will be coming, kind of like at the movies. After you watch a movie at the movies, after about a month and a half or something like that, it comes to a Blu-ray, DVD, or something like that. Maybe you can do it like that. Maybe, within 30 days to to 60 days, 90 days or something
Hmm.
like that
Yeah.
after they add that game inside of PS Now for those, and that'll pick up revenue, and that'll put people back in that PlayStation install base. And to tell you
And
the truth,
But
I'm not even opposed to that as
I,
long as it doesn't go
I,
day in.
I agree with that too. I think anywhere between, because I remember seeing someone saying that like the first 90 days after launch is where you get the bulk of your sales.
Yeah,
So go
yeah,
ahead and let that be. You can only buy the game first 90 days, and anywhere between
yeah,
90 days to 6 months, that game
yeah,
shows up at PS Now. That really would raise the value of it, and
yeah,
then make it kind of like its own thing. Like, yeah, there are people who have Game Pass but don't have PS Now.
yeah,
But then you're gonna start seeing a lot of people saying, "I gotta have Game Pass and PS Now," and so you
yeah,
can really see the value of it. And I think you're gonna have way more than what you currently have subscribed to. I mean, I have it right now, but I don't really play much that's in it. The games that I am interested in, I either already own or I also have it on Game Pass, and I've already played it on Game Pass or something like that. So it's just
yeah.
having something like that. I think would be a good idea.
Hey,
yeah.
I want to go to B Money B. I'm sure you probably are excited about this purchase. I think it's probably a big purchase. What are your thoughts, man, on Insomniac? Is this just another blow to the industry? Sony kind of flexing its muscles, and um,
Hey, remember what I told y'all like last year, or the year before, when Microsoft started buying studios?
yes,
I was like, okay, y'all see what Microsoft doing? Y'all ain't gonna like it when Sony start doing it, because Sony
Yeah,
gonna go for the big guns, and this is only one domino falling. You know what I mean? Like they set up a whole team to go out and acquire studios. So they got Insomniac. When they start buying up other studios, I don't want to hear nobody crying. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because it's going to continue. Just like Microsoft buys studios, Sony going to go over the big guns, and people going to be mad. You know what I mean? So now, I was excited. I knew this was coming. You know what I mean? This is the writing was been on the wall for so many years. I mean, Insomniac has done great work for Sony. You know what I mean? With the
hmm,
Resistance series, with Ratchet and Clank. You know what I mean? Like they've put in the work. You know what I mean? I think they were only deserving to actually get under the umbrella, really get some money from Sony, and Layden said that they have control over their old IPs and their new IPs, so they can kind of do what they want. They're giving them the freedom to
yeah,
go out there and put their best foot forward. And we already know that they got Spider Man, so that just what I mean secures people to go buy a PlayStation 5 anyway. You know what I mean? Spider-Man sold gangbusters. Spider-Man 2 is gonna continue to sell gangbusters, and Spider-Man 3 will do the same. So
yeah,
that just locked up a section of your customer base just on that game alone.
yeah,
yeah,
You know what I mean? I thought making this purchase was key in making an announcement was key. You know what I mean? They didn't have anything at Gamescom. They didn't have a show or anything like that. There was no state of play around Gamescom or anything like that. So they just dropped a little announcement, and now everybody's talking about it. And
That's
basically everything at Gamescom became irrelevant. You know what I mean? So Sony knows what they're doing, and they continue to do things like this. So I'm just waiting for the next domino to fall because I'm telling you, so many people were hyped up about Microsoft buying studios, which is great. You know what I mean? They need to do that. They need to bolster up their lineup. They need to get first party correct, which is amazing. But Sony also needs to do the same thing as well. Like they cannot only just sell single player games. So multiplayer stuff has to come going forward. I would expect that some of the games will start to go to PC um, in the multiplayer realm. So when they start buying more studios, I don't want to see those tears flowing because it's going to happen. I guarantee you that.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
hey,
fellas, I got a roll.
yeah, man.
I got the
You,
kids, but I just want to say one thing.
I gotta play some Fire Emblem, man. I get it.
No, I gotta pick up the kids. I'm not playing.
I'm messing with you slow mo.
I'm playing Fire Emblem in between dropping 2 videos. I've been playing Fire Emblem all day. So no, I really do gotta pick up my kids. But I just want to point out my nickname right now is P Standing for Game of the Year. Just wanted to let everyone know what's going to happen. It's going to be P Standing. It's going to win it. But other than that,
That's terrible. He's standing.
I just wanted to kind of like agree with B-Money, like and something that I actually think like back when Jada was on Scumcast like a year ago back in the day, we all talked about this after E3, and really, Sony is going to follow suit, retaliate, and I was like, I know a lot of people were like, I don't like to see these independent studios get bought up. I'm like, man, whatever. Look, buy these studios, give them all the money they need to make what they want to make, and make me some good games, damn it. That's what I care about. I don't care who bought who. There's somebody buy these studios and they go out of business.
Right.
Or they don't have enough funding to make the game that they intended to make. Here's something from a developer that was like, yeah, we were going to do this, but then we didn't have enough time. We didn't have enough developers. So we didn't have the resources. Like, no. You're not going to get that anymore. And you're definitely not going to hear anything like that coming from Insomniac, especially now that they are under SIE. So this is great. Ask some more people. And you guys have a great day.
Oh, you too.
All right, Slow. Hey, Slow Mo. Thank you for the send off, man.
Hey, no problem, man.
I'll catch you. Hey, Slow Mo love slap, man. It's always a pleasure. Hey, but B, it's funny, man. You talk about them need a multiplayer. I think that's one area that they definitely need to invest in. Like I think that they definitely need that exclusive multiplayer. I would love to see SOCOM come back. I don't know if that's in the plans, but
there's rumors of Resistance 2 remake.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
as well as we know they got the Predator game that's coming. Hopefully that turns out well because like you said, they don't really have many multiplayer shooters and stuff like that. So that's a game we're gonna be interested in. So who knows? Who knows what we're gonna see?
I believe that Gorilla is working on a new shooter IP.
There's rumors that they're going to reboot Killzone.
Nope. Killzone's in the dust. Killzone's in the dust.
So this is completely new IP.
New IP.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? They've learned so much with the tech that they had, and with them buying the writers of the stories and stuff. So all of these companies that have had bad games in the past, look at Guerrilla Games, look at even Insomniac, look at just a bunch of them. They've learned this generation as to what works and what doesn't, and where they lack, and they filled in that talent. This is why Horizon Zero Dawn, they say they went out and bought Hollywood writers and stuff like that to kind of help fix, because their previous games, the writing of the story just did not stick no matter what they tried. It just didn't. And so they fixed that, right? And they got a hit with Horizon Zero Dawn. Now they know where they lacked. Now they can take that going forward with the engine and everything else and go and pull some of the old IPs out of the hat and say, okay, now we're gonna knock it out the box because this is where we failed here. This is where we failed there. I would like to see them at least send off Killzone, maybe Resistance. Just send them off. Even if you're going to stop making them, just give it one last try. Now that you have the talent, now you have the proper hardware. Now you don't have any of those limitations that you had before.
Yeah.
And why not? I mean,
See,
hell, we got
the
Knack
thing
2.
about
I mean, you
Sony,
can't be any worse than that.
the thing about Sony is that once they hit 3 or 4 games in a series, it's a wrap.
Yeah, like
So
Uncharted, right? They yeah,
yeah,
that's right. Kill it. Yeah.
like you know, what I mean, we got the 3 games in the Resistance series. I don't expect that game to ever come back.
But B,
Yeah,
they're
they
not.
might do a remake
B,
or
they're not.
something like that, but
Hey, B,
but
real
they're
quick.
not making another Resistance game.
B, real quick, man. They're not. They're not. They're still doing Uncharted though, right?
No, no,
Like,
No,
aren't they doing
nope,
Uncharted
not
based like the Lost, like based off the Lost Legacy?
nope, nope,
That's
nope, nope.
done. That was one and done.
That's done. That's done. They're working on a new IP.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I thought
Coin
my.
Cobb is working on new IP that nobody knows about yet,
You know.
But
You know what's
I would
funny.
I
You know.
would I would assume would be announced pretty soon.
You know what's funny
now
is
that's
I was
not to
trying.
say that they won't in the future decide to pull. I mean, Nathan Drake is basically dead to them, according to those guys there,
Yeah,
Troy Baker, Neil Druckmann, and all those other guys that are
gotcha. Hey,
yeah.
B, it's funny you mentioned Quentin Cobb. I was in talks with him, and I've done a podcast with Quentin when Quentin was at Naughty Dog. We were gonna get him on Brap in March, and then he couldn't do it because he's too busy. He's like
Yeah,
well, actually, I think what happened was it's funny you mentioned that because he's like I can't something to the effect like he was like I got to check with my manager because I'm working on something right now I can't talk about or something to that effect,
yeah,
right? Something cryptic like
yeah,
that, you know. So he basically wasn't allowed to come on because they gotta want to be careful. They don't want anyone to slip up or say, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Um,
He basically has a team, and they're working on new IP nobody knows about. And I would assume it would probably be in that launch window for PS5. So
wow. Quentin Cobb's a good
you know
dude,
what I
by
mean?
the way, man. Good
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, he is.
Yeah, we had him when I actually did. I was on Megadeth's podcast, Super Deformed Gamescast. They had him on when he was at Naughty Dog, and cool dude, man. We used to. I have him on my friends list on PS4. He ran because he used to do the level designs for the multiplayer for Uncharted.
Yeah,
So
Mhm.
we used to run some Uncharted with him and used to kick our ass. But but B, let me. You know what's interesting, B and Kratos is that if you look at and look, this isn't a like I know people they're gonna hear me say this. Oh, you're hating on Xbox, but this isn't like to me a knock on Xbox. I think kind of more of a comparison of we talk about the studio acquisitions of Microsoft and what Sony has. Like like Insomniac's not a. They're bigger than a Ninja Theory. They're bigger than Double Fine. They're
Oh,
bigger than who's the other one who did We Happy Few. Um,
what's the name of that?
compulsion.
The
Compulsion.
initiative.
No, Compulsion.
Compulsion.
Yeah.
Compulsion.
We don't know. We don't know anything. I mean, we know the initiative's hiring a lot of people, but they really had initiative hasn't put out a game, so we really can't judge them based on anything. I mean, Obsidian was a pretty big get, but I think like most of their studios, be in Kratos. I don't know if you guys agree with me on this or not, but they in comparison, I mean, much smaller in scale than like maybe than Sony picking up Insomniac. Do you guys agree with that or disagree?
I totally agree
I
with that.
totally agree. That's why the news is so huge. This is not a double A indie or maybe an indie to this is not that middle of the road. Um, this is not a small thing. This is huge. This is a great studio, big studio. Um,
And
there's no way
and
Go ahead, B.
it's smaller. It is what it's huge.
Yeah, hey
and
B,
you
what were you
can
saying,
expect
man?
them to
Mm.
be you can expect them to be on par with the rest of the studios
Yeah.
at Sony.
Gorilla
You know what I mean?
Games.
Like to me, this is just another stone in an Infinity Gauntlet. You
Yeah.
know, because what's going to happen is you're going to have them work on Spider-Man, and they're going to work on another project that's just as good. You know what I mean? Or can sit on a table next to Spider-Man and sell at the same caliber because Sony's going to give them the resources to do so. So
Yeah.
rather it's a Ratchet and Clank game that comes out and sells another 5 million, or it's a Resistance game, a Resistance remake, or whatever case it may be. Now that Insomniac is under the umbrella, now they have free reign. We all know that Sony gives their development team time to come up
Mm,
with great projects, and if they feel like whatever you come to the table with is not up to par, they're gonna send your ass back and make you come back with something that they know is gonna blow the socks off of people. So I can only imagine what Insomniac is gonna come out with, because the games always look great graphically. You know what I mean? Like they always look amazing.
Yeah.
And now that they've really had the opportunity this generation to kind of flex the muscle, show who they really are. I mean, sky's the limit for them, and it can only be exciting, you know, for Sony and their fans, because you just put another notch in the belt where, like, okay, now you know for sure that Spider-Man is coming. You know that other games are coming. You know
mm-hmm.
what I mean? It's another big budget title you can throw on your shelf and say, yo, I mean, this is the reason why I own a PlayStation.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
they sold more PlayStation 5s today for sure with that announcement.
Oh man, we're not even going to get on that. That again, by them coming out today, at Gamescom and bringing this out, this not only solidifies the people who were in the PlayStation ecosystem, but this is a shot over the bow saying, "Hey, we know you don't like, you're not into PlayStation, but look what we got. We got yet another series of Spider-Man games coming, and some more. It's just huge."
Yeah.
So as a gamer, if I'm not in the PlayStation ecosystem, I'm looking like, man, they eating over there. They they
Yeah,
going
I mean,
hard.
yeah, they are. I mean, real quick, Mog Wee in the live chat says rumor is Sony new in a new San Diego studio will make Uncharted with some ex Naughty Dog employees. I've heard that rumor too. That's what I was alluding
It
to.
was rumors. It was nothing really nothing. Well, rumors. Anything can come from rumors, but based on the words of what Sony said with the with dealing with Uncharted, it was like that's it. Now that obviously doesn't close the door to spinoff of Nathan Drake's daughter,
Hmm.
or Sully or
Or
his brother or
Chloe and Nadine
anybody
or
else.
something like that.
Obviously we just don't know, but that would kind of be crazy for them to kill Nathan Drake off and then turn around and make another Uncharted game. Like it just really doesn't make sense. I think they'll focus on something else, and maybe in the future they'll go back, after a few years, or who knows if they make a smaller Uncharted game. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
I,
see it
I
happening.
think at
Yeah,
this point, for them, they don't need to go back to Uncharted. Like, we're going into a new generation. Like, Uncharted was great for what it was. We got 3 games on the previous generation. We got one great game here, and we got a spinoff. All right, send it off in the wind. And now give me something else. We already know that Last of Us is going to take the stage.
Hmm.
Naughty Dog is already working on another new IP. Whatever that is, we already know it's going to be top tier. So just let Uncharted blow off in the wind and give us something new. Like, I don't understand why companies think we want to play the same games or be in the same series for 25 years. Like, I don't want to play Uncharted anymore.
thank you,
I you know what I
thank
mean?
you.
Send it off in the wind. I had my full course meal of Uncharted. Now
Yeah,
give me something else.
yeah. Well, with that being said, right, a lot can be applied across the spectrum to a lot of games.
Right. And
I
that's
remember.
my biggest complaint in the industry though. Like,
Yeah, I
just
remember,
stop
and
giving me the
again,
same games.
yeah, and that's why I applauded Kojima for trying something different. I mean, but I remember, I think I was in college when Halo came out on the OG Xbox. I played it; it was the best thing since sliced bread. Played one, two, three. By the time I got to four, and judge, by the time I got to, I was fatigued. It's like, okay, so it didn't hit me like the other ones did, right? And then Gears came out. And then that was that next big impact, right? Oh my God, I never
Yeah.
seen this before. And then two, three, and then by the time you get to four, it's like, okay, I'm a little bit fatigued. And then so you don't look forward to those games like you used to because they're just so fatigued. Even God of War, right?
Yeah.
I started at three, I started to get fatigued.
Yep.
and then they remade it something different, right? All new gameplay, all new story, all new, and then, but it did still, it paid homage to the original Kratos, the original games,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the way to do it. That's how you reinvigorate the gamer from a long in the tooth IP. That's how you do it. And if you don't do that, then you're gonna alienate the people that are there. You're gonna run them off, and they're just gonna move. So
Hey
I
Jay,
don't know, man.
Jay, it's funny. I'm hearing you talk about this, man. It just, for us, it seems like the obvious thing to do, right? And
Yeah,
I remember like you guys were talking about this like on the Best Damn Gaming podcast, or was
yeah,
it Best Damn Podcast or Best Damn Gaming Podcast?
yeah. Best damn podcast.
Best Damn Podcast, yeah.
Yeah,
And so when
best
Jaffe
damn
was
podcast.
on, and he said something like something to the effect like, well, what you guys think is obvious. Like he said something to the effect like, understand that there's people in management that may have egos, or maybe their egos get in the way or something like that. I think he alluded to, and he said I won't name their name, but somebody was behind the the E3 debacle of the PlayStation 3, right? Um, but he alluded to that. Remember that, like, so, like that. There's sometimes there's things internally that aren't being done for whatever reason. Um, but I mean, I think that
I'm
Because
excited for this Call of Duty. This is one of the Call of Duties that I haven't been excited for Call of Duty in 10 years.
I'm the same way. Same way.
But guess what? It's because they had the same engine. They didn't do anything but make you, go from this old war to the new modern war, to flying through the air,
yeah,
Titanfall style, to coming back down to the boots on the ground. But now they have a brand new engine. It's modern. They're trying the realistic route, and this is what we need. We need that type of variety in something different. You can't take the same stuff and just barely change little things and expect it to fire off, these big
mm.
hits,
It,
all these big great games. Now,
hey,
granted,
Kratos, real quick,
go
man.
ahead, go ahead.
To your point about like you have to make tweaks.
Yeah,
I always hear people say, "Well, Nintendo makes Mario all the time, and no one complains about that." But Nintendo with Mario, they're always changing some kind of dynamic or adding some new gameplay mechanic
yeah.
to the game that makes it feel fresh. And people forget that. But go ahead, man.
Pad, try different ways of playing it. Look at the Switch, right? You remove the Joy-Con. It's not literally the same thing. Yes, it's the same IP and the same name, the same characters. But guess what? You can take the same characters and have a million variations of that brings brand new light. You see what I'm saying? Look what they did with this new Zelda. um I wouldn't call it
The
a
Link's
remake.
Awakening.
It's yes, the Link's Awakening. I can't wait to play that.
Yeah, me
Yes,
too.
it's the Link's Awakening that we played before, but it's totally different. The way it looks, the way it controls, it's like it's modernizing it, and it's okay to take an IP and modernize it to bring it. But they hadn't did that with the Halos. They hadn't did that with the Gears. And I know a lot of people are scared. Well, if you change it too much, then people won't buy it because they won't make this. But guess what? That's the part. That's the great thing about gaming, right? You have to try stuff. Look at Uncharted 1. They tried that. It didn't set the world on fire, but then they backdoored it with Uncharted 2. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when everyone knew what Uncharted was. And then that was the beginning. You can't tuck tail and run after the first IP. Don't knock it out the park. But also you can't drag on for 2 decades, which we've been dealing with Halo. Jeez. Man, that game is old as shit.
Jesus.
I'm hoping. Hey, I swear to God, man. I swear. I hope this Halo Infinite knocks it out the park. I hope. I know they saying it's gonna be. I hope it's a reimagining. I hope it starts. It lights that fire, like the original one did. I hope it gives me just something new and it brings it. I'm hoping, man. But there's that one little part of me, like in the back of my mind, that says, "Man, it's gonna be you just dragging the old shit into a new
Oh
generation,"
my
which
goodness.
which doesn't really, it doesn't hit. It
Oh
doesn't.
my. All right. Well, you know what, gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the podcast. Um, Great conversation, guys. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat, though. Great conversations going in live chat. People are talking about Uncharted right now. Big shout out to everyone who, if supported us with the super chats. And